So do you believe then, Sean Hannity, a very faithful Catholic? Do you believe Bill O'Reilly, right, who cannot even explain Christianity, because he's still saying, oh, well, we need to have a capitalist system, and the rich, they've got to have more money, or else, it's obvious, right? It's obvious that the rich have got, total billions on top of billions of, all this money, and we don't need to tax them. We're going to have to give them more of their money so that, it'll trickle down to us poor people. You believe these people? Friends, wake up. See, they've got you convinced that it's these darn pagans that are coming to kill us. These liberals. People who want to make you free. It's really these conservatives who are trying to destroy you. Isn't it these Republican conservatives who want to, build our military up beyond the point of no return? I mean, do you realize how many billions and billions of dollars they've got invested in our military to fight who, friends? They wouldn't even need a military. They've got control of all the commercial enterprises all over the world. They own the oil. They own the cars. They could stop China in their tracks just with sanctions. They don't need a military, friends. They own it all. Don't let them fool you. Don't let them fool you. You say, oh, well, that Ted Cruz, he's pretty nice. He seems like he's a good talker, and he's a good debater, and boy, he's a good-looking guy, and boy, he sure fights for us. Really? He's fighting for us. Or is he up on that stage fighting us? Trying to convince you with his, denunciations to the left and denunciations to the right, and we're right down the middle. He's talking to us. Who's he trying to convince? He's trying to persuade you what? That we need more military. We need to kill more people. Well, we just need to let, corporate America run free. We need to trust corporate America, Ted Cruz says. And how about Jeb Bush? Well, we've seen Jeb Bush. We know who he is. The son of a Bush, right? Well, that son of a Bush is going to bring you all down in World War III. And guess what? No world wars or any wars ever brings about peace. We tried World War I. It didn't work. We tried World War II. It didn't work. We tried the Gulf War, his daddy. It didn't work. And his big brother, he tried it a little harder, and it still hadn't worked. He said, oh, that's because that darn Obama, he won't let us go over there and kill more of them. All right, you killed people for about 20 years, and Obama says, all right, we're getting out. But guess what? They told Obama to do that. Obama was told, he works for the same elite, friends. He was told, okay, you guys, pull back. We're going to organize this group called ISIS over there, so we can't be over there for a while. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the bad guy. I'm going to be the Democrat. And I'm going to say, oh, we don't want to go to war. See, because there's a lot of people think maybe we shouldn't go to war after 20, 30 years of this. First World War, II, people are starting to get tired. So what we got to do is we got to show them just how bad they need this war. We're going to create ISIS. We're going to start beheading people. And then we're going to make Obama look like an idiot. See? So he's going to play this part, and we're going to put this guy in. And it's all actors, friends. Okay, pretty soon you're going to be so darn angry because, look, they're coming. Oh, they're coming. They're going to behead us all. They're going to kill us. And, of course, it's the ISIS is run by the CIA, and they're the ones killing us, trying to whip us up into a frenzy so we're, get all excited about going over there and killing those people. They're going to be parading people all over Fox News. You watch, and CNN are all going to join in. Oh, these darn Muslims, we got to kill them all. Oh, this darn Obama, he won't even call them Muslims. So pretty soon, and he's bringing all these people across the border because you see what they're going to do is they're going to crack down. There's going to be martial law. They got to have an excuse. They got to have something on TV every 5 minutes. Of course, that's the box where they feed this propaganda into your head. So you're going to watch it, and they're going to have a shooting over here and say, oh, look at these Muslims. There's terrorism over here in America. They're building things up in your mind. Here goes the drum beats of war. And pretty soon they're going to have you convinced, oh my God, they're coming over here. right? They're shooting people here in America now. We got to go to war. We're going to have to abandon Obama, which Obama was just put in there and told what to say to get you to change your mind, right? Because and it makes it look like somebody's got some kind of sanity, right? Obama's saying the truth. And for a lot of you conservatives, like, wait a minute, your head's spinning. I used to be against war too, but then Obama was against war, so I hated Obama, so now I'm back on the side of going to war. What's gone wrong here? You need to stick to your beliefs. You're a Christian, then we don't need to go to war. You need to know Jesus would not go to war. You, sure, we can defend ourselves. They're not coming here to kill us. Oh yeah, they're beheading people right here in the country. No, they're not. This is all orchestrated by the CIA. What we need to do is stop the CIA. Stop these people from lying to us. We need to wake up. That's what we need to do. Okay, now, I think a lot of you know this. Okay, it isn't just orchestrating. They don't just want martial law here in the streets. They want world war all over the world. Okay, they've got stuff they want to do. They want more control. They're not losing the battle with the financial crisis. I mean, if they wanted to, bring the budget in under control here in America, they would have done it. So somebody's got a lot of control, complete ironclad control here in America. They control the elections, everything, right? We all know this. But here's the thing. We just traced the truth all the way back to Christ. We know where it was going all the way up to where we got to the point where there was Cathars and they were being murdered in the Inquisition. Well, then we talked about how on Friday the 13th, this is at dawn on Friday the 13th, October 1307, and this is that date that usually people use to say this was the origin of the Friday the 13th superstitious thing. It's just so scary. And like I say, it's become this little, scary day, but it was really scary for somebody. And this was when King Philip IV ordered the Moile and scores of other French Templars to be simultaneously arrested. There was arrest warrants, and they started rounding them up. So at that point, in 1307, all these secret societies weren't, I don't think at that point they were all perfect and good. Remember, that's 1,300 years since Christ. At that point, there may have been some problems. They may have lost some truth. There may be different organizations. There was the Hospitallers, which I think were more in tune and in lock and step with the teachings of the Catholic Church. And there was at one point that this Pope that was then existing tried to get them to merge so he could control them better. Perhaps he could infiltrate these darn secret societies by making his own secret society. Well, that one never really worked and kind of failed. And that's why in 1540 they started the Jesuit order. See, that's proof right there, friends, that originally the Knights Templars were good people. Or else, why would the Catholic Church, who were killing all these innocents, why would they start the Jesuit order? Why wouldn't they just use the Templars? Because they didn't work for them. They were opposed to each other, and the Jesuits were created to infiltrate a group of people that they could not kill with a sword. They tried in the Inquisition. What do you think the Inquisition was about? To kill off the truth, to eradicate the truth. That's why they burned the books. That's why they massacred the saints and martyred them and put them on crosses. But it didn't work. They couldn't stamp them out, so they had to infiltrate them, friends. And they had to create subterfuge and counter organizations. And see, a lot of you are saying, oh, those Cathars, they were just pagan and they were bad. They were the Protestants. It was from the Cathars that the Albigensians and the Waldensians came. And from them that came the Pilgrims and the Anabaptists and all of the modern Protestants today. Most of that came from that movement, friends. So there isn't any question. I'm not trying to trick you, friends. I'm not trying to lie to you. I'm giving you the history. The only way you're going to know this for yourself is to go back and read this. But it's confusing because you've got a lot of preconceived ideas in your mind. So they had the truth, and the Catholic Church had to stamp them out. They tried murdering them. Now think about how bad they wanted them dead, friend. They murdered them. They lied about them. See, you say, well, maybe they weren't lying. Maybe they really were bad guys. Then why did they have to say they were witches and they had warts on their nose? Why did they have to make up stories about how Think about these superstitious people claiming that they were killing these people because they were sorcerers and they were devil worshippers. But you see, that wasn't the reason. The reason was that they didn't believe in the Catholic Church and the supremacy of the Pope. Do you understand, friends? They were giving people truth. Who is opposed to the Christian views to the liberation of planet Earth? Who's opposed to that? Satan, the darkness. And what's he want? He wants to control you, right? So he can use you like a little pawn. He doesn't want you enlightened. So it was this enlightenment. Remember we talked about how Sir Isaac Newton was one of these heretics, right? Galileo, Descartes, Francis Bacon. We talked about Saint Germain, and to this day they're considered vampires, and because a lot of that came from the Visigoths, right? They conquered Rome in some 400 something, and the Germanic tribes. One of them was the Ostrogoths and the Visigoths. Today we get this word, the Goths, right? Gotham City and Batman, and he was the bad guy. But see, he wasn't really a vampire, friends. It's just all superstitions. They weren't really witches. They didn't really suck your blood. Don't you see? This is just lies to convince you that this is why we got to kill them. Just like they're doing today when they're saying that all Muslims are trying to kill you, and they're bad, and their faith is evil, and they want to behead everybody, and their God wants to destroy all the Christians. But that's not true. Under the Muslim empire for 1,000 years, the greatest enlightenment has ever been known to mankind was during that time. They ruled all the way from India, all the way down and through North Africa and up into Spain, all the way the whole country of Spain and parts of France. And not only was it the largest empire that's ever been, but it was the most peaceful. And Jews were allowed to worship God the way they chose and come and go in the land of Palestine. And everybody was at peace. There wasn't any problems. Nobody was fighting. All the wars and fighting was going up in Europe, between these different knights and the Pope and trying to wipe out the Cathars, who were trying to, live in peace and prosperity, and they were being wiped off the face of the earth systematically by the Catholic Church, because that's where the devil was. In fact, it says that in the book of Revelation, friends. It says, I know where the devil's seat is. Revelation 2:13, the devil has a throne, and it's in Pergamus. That's just a short little skip and a jump away from Athens and Rome. That's where the devil's throne is, friends, according to the Bible. Contrary to what you may believe, that was not Islam. Islam hadn't existed until 600 years later, but this was the Greek-Roman Empire that they were talking about, where Satan's throne was. You see, there are several different players here. Now, the devil's throne, this is the Tsars of Russia, the Caesars of Rome. It started there in Babylon. This is the ancient Babylonians. This is why the Bible talks about Babylon. Babylon has fallen. That's where Nebuchadnezzar, these were the czars. This is that bloodline that goes all the way back to Enlil. It came to the earth 450,000 years ago. We've got other videos that talk about that. And they came from over by Babylon, working their way up through the Asia Minor, and their throne then was there in Pergamus. They were the Romans and the Greeks of the time of the book of Revelation, and that was the devil's throne. But you see, 400 or 500 years later, it was these Goths that came down from the Baltic area, that there was these Germanic tribes. One of them was Visigoths and the Ostrogoths, Lombards and the Franks, and so these tribes were warring against Rome. This was a different group. They were the Goths. See, in all the mythology, Batman and Gotham City, and how today this is where we get all this talk about the vampires. You see, they were branded as evil, bloodsuckers. Right? Bad people. They dress in black, and these Gothic cathedrals, where they worshipped the truth and had this hidden secrets, and the Knights and the Templars and so forth, they hated them. So the Romans were waning, and the Goths were taking over, and they were opposed to Catholicism. They were the Cathars of the 11th century, and of course these old Caesars didn't like this other encroaching view, and they didn't want the truth to be known to the world, and so they had a war.